Good Monday. I'm Chris Vogt. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Let's get started. Sharona?
Good morning. Today we have Teresa Roberts, and she's a very unique person because she's a hypnotist, right? And what she's going to do today is hypnotize everybody who's watching the show, so that you guys will buy whatever the product that she's selling.
So
Teresa,
watch closely.
watch very closely, okay? So Teresa, tell us, what do you do?
Well, I am a certified hypnotist. I'm certified with the National Guild of Hypnotism. And I have an office on Lake Avenue where I can receive private clients who want to have a session with me, or I also work with groups, and I do educational venues about hypnosis. And usually when I meet with a group, my focus is to teach that group how to use self-hypnosis in their personal life. So they can take that away and reach some of their own personal goals. When I meet with a client individually, it's usually to work on something very personal to them. And so we can craft the session, which is usually an hour to an hour and a half long, to help them overcome some sort of an issue in their life. I like to say that I work with ordinary people to help them solve ordinary problems. And since all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, basically what I do is that I help to guide an individual into a state of deep relaxation so that we can then access their subconscious mind. And then through the power of hypnotic suggestion, I can help them reprogram their subconscious mind so that it is more able to support what the conscious mind really wants to accomplish. So for example, if you wanted to quit smoking, your conscious mind has already accepted a long time ago that smoking probably isn't very good for you, and that,
all the logic.
It costs a lot of money, but, you continue to smoke anyway, even though you try very hard to stop. And that's because your subconscious mind has a recording that it plays over and over every time you start thinking about quitting smoking, and it goes something like this. Now you've tried before and you know it didn't work, and you got really, really grumpy, and you remember how much you crave those cigarettes, and to top it off, if you ever did really succeed in stopping to smoke, you would just transfer your desire to smoke to eating, and then you would just eat and eat and eat and blow up until you were big and fat. And so people hear this subconscious recording, and whenever the subconscious mind and the conscious mind disagree with each other, the subconscious always wins every time, no matter how absurd it is.
So all that negative self-talk, you give yourself.
So this stuff that we are talking about today is better than Dr. Phil.
That's right.
So because she's actually providing the solution rather than just talking and giving like advice, because
rather than just saying try harder,
because it's actual help.
It actually, and it's really the person helping themselves.
Oh yeah.
I'm just there to guide them. If you're not ready to do it, there's nothing in the world that can be done.
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. So why are Mondays great if they are for you?
Well, my life's changed a lot in the last 6 years because I had a previous career. I just moved to Fort Wayne a little over a year ago from the state of Maine. And I was an elementary principal there. I worked in the field of public education for 28 years. And 6 years ago, I decided to retire, probably a little earlier than most of my colleagues. And in the last 6 years, Monday's been pretty terrific for me. So,
see, you're probably hypnotizing yourself.
yes, and so I tell you the truth, I have trouble knowing which day of the week it actually is. And so now I've decided to reinvent myself and re-enter the workforce as a self-employed woman for the first time. And I'm really hoping that my Mondays don't deteriorate. Right now, Mondays are kind of fun for me because I am a member of the Georgetown Networking Lunch Bunch group, the Georgetown Plus group, and that's really a great way for me to start my week because they're very positive people, and it's given me an opportunity to meet a lot of people here in Fort Wayne as well.
So that's part of your ritual to get yourself going?
Well, maybe on Mondays. Yeah. I do have a couple of rituals. Number one is my husband works nights, And when he gets off at 6:30 in the morning, he always goes by Dunkin' Donuts and brings me a cup of coffee. And I love Dunkin' Donuts, but I really love having it delivered. That's nice. That's a great way to start. But the other thing I do, first thing in the morning, when I open my eyes, before the first negative thought can even enter my brain, I do 68 seconds of pure positive thought. And it really goes something like this. I say to myself, isn't it wonderful how my husband brings me my coffee every morning? And isn't it nice how this coffee just smells so good and makes me feel all warm and tingly inside? Don't I just love knowing that when I lay here in my bed and look out the window, I can watch the night sky change to the day sky? And isn't it lovely knowing that while I'm here in my house, no matter how cold it is outside, that I have the luxury of turning up the thermostat and keeping myself all warm and cozy? And don't I just love knowing that on Saturday I'm going to see my granddaughter? And isn't she absolutely the most beautiful child in the world? Well, of course she is. She's my grandchild. You get the point.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that if you start your day that way, 68 seconds of pure thought, when you roll out of bed and put your feet on the floor, it'll be the right foot on the floor.
Well, this is great advice for any business user. This is not just personal, but for a business user.
Absolutely.
If they practice just what you said, right, which I'm going to do, I do it for a small extent, but that 68 seconds is very important because sometimes timing and numbers makes a huge difference.
Right.
So I love it. I love it. So
Do you have a philosophy that summarizes the way you live your life or the way you run your business?
I guess, I don't know if I would say that I have an overall philosophy, but I do have a place I like to be where I get most of my energy. And that is, I define it as, I like to be on the edge of who I am right now, anticipating who I am becoming. And when that space in between those two places is where I'm on a learning curve. And when I'm on that learning curve, I feel the most alive, because that's where most of my energetic thoughts come from, all my creative thoughts. And lots of times when I'm there, I seem to attract to me people who are also having a lot of creative thoughts. And it's not that there's anything wrong with a routine. A routine can be very, very comforting. But sometimes when I stay in a routine too long, my energy level starts to go down and I get lethargic. So I would say, that's my philosophy of life. Don't stay in the routine too long. Get out on the edge of who you are and really anticipate who you're becoming.
see, this is awesome stuff.
It's very good.
Very good.
And if you had to select a superpower, what would that be?
Well, I'd have to select two, and neither one of them are conventional superpowers.
That's fine.
But they should be, all right? And so they are today. I would probably select, I'd probably choose to have the power of healing. And on top of that, I would choose to have an unlimited source of ideas. And I think if I combined those two, I would be able to create the absolute perfect life for myself, and I know I would impact other people.
So, how do people get hold of you, Teresa, to do business with you?
Well, I have a website, and it's Fort Wayne, with Fort spelled out, fortwayne-hypnosis.com. And I encourage people to take a look at the website because I run a blog on that, and I update it 3 or 4 times a week. I love to read it, so I think everybody else would too. With lots of tidbits, about your thoughts and how your thoughts actually create the world that you live in. You can also call me at 260-918-0458. Dare and I basically leave a message. I'm only in my office by appointment, so just give me a call and we can see what we can work out.
Great.
This is fantastic stuff, and I would like to thank Teresa for coming today, and I would like to thank the audience for listening and tuning in. And we are recording at Living Loud Studios, downtown Fort Wayne, and this is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.